When it comes to the F-Zero Grand Prix, the element of danger is always present. From the tracks right down to the pilots, some of which aren't even human. Creatures such as Biorex is why the Beastman exists. With his hyperspeeder, he seeks to protect people from those threats. We'll be taking a look at the different versions of Beastman in this video and see how he fares in his war against the monsters of the future. When Beastman was young, he was almost eaten by a giant alligator. This sparked a desire to see all manner of beasts slain. Even before the Grand Prix, he was proficient in his craft, becoming a professional beast hunter. Joining the race at the time would be the best way for him to promote his services. He wasn't the only new racer at the time, however. He had a few notable rivals in Billy, Leon, the Skull, and, for some reason, Silver Nielsen. But the most important racer for him to deal with was Biorex. Biorex, a product of biotechnology, has intelligence similar to that of a human's. Combine that with his aggressive tendencies, and it's little wonder why Beastman wants to deal with him. A dinosaur like that is easily a mutant that may one day pose a threat, the same threat that nearly ate Beastman all those years ago. Billy is another racer seeking to prove himself above humans. He's not just the first monkey to race in F-Zero, but as his behavior shows in the races, one of the most dangerous, especially in the air. Silver Nielsen has been known to express contempt when it comes to new age F-Zero machines. Unsurprisingly, that happens to include Beastman's hyperspeeder. Leon, according to the Japanese F-Zero X manual, doesn't seem dangerous and isn't like a wild beast, same as Billy. But it doesn't seem like Beastman is willing to take any chances. He's decided on them being targets. After winning the Grand Prix, we even see Beastman show off his tagline, presumably what he'd use for his services. As it's been 1 year since F-Zero X, it's now been revealed that Beastman came from planet White. Additionally, he's got a somewhat shy side to him, but that's hard to find in his interviews or anything to go by. According to him, he became a good hunter due to kickboxing and his gym equipment. Taking a look at his attire in general, he looks ill-equipped to actually hunt monsters like a typical hunter, but he looks like a pugilist. His various animations help too. If you study his behavior during races, he's one of many non-violent racers. He refuses to fight anyone, if AI controlled. Very odd behavior for one who is trying to protect people from beasts. But if you have Mr. Zero ask why he's racing, he comes up with a somewhat generic answer.
Can you tell us why you became an F-Zero racer?
I put my life on the line. I love the thrill.
I see.
In F-Zero GP Legend, Beastman's character is another beast. He's a rough customer and seeks only to hunt down beasts. Just Biorex and Leon. Well, mainly Leon. This attitude led to him having an uneasy alliance with the Mobile Task Force, mainly with Lucy Liberty and Rick Wheeler. He eventually does finally get to see Leon in his true form, but Rick Wheeler stops Beastman from killing him. Beastman then leaves, but not without parting words for the group. Beat it. I don't want to see you again. This terseness of Beastman isn't fully explored in the anime, but one could pose a theory that his reasons for actively hunting down beasts may be very similar to his origin story in the original games. In F-Zero Climax, it's only stated that Beastman defends others from the dangerous beasts that exist in the world. That's simply why he calls himself Beastman. Much like in F-Zero X, he tries to self-promote so that he may find work throughout the galaxy. As for the hyperspeeder itself, it's gone through a few changes in design, but it's largely been consistent in having a shape similar to an F-15 fighter. There's also the design at the front that feels shark-like. Perhaps Don Genie took inspiration from this. As for who designed the machine, that depends on the game. Though we don't know who designed his machine in F-Zero X, we know that Dr. Clash was responsible for it in GX. Then, once we get to the world of GP Legend, we again do not know who designed the hyperspeeder. In F-Zero GX, Beastman says that they're unbeatable together, a sign that Beastman does put a lot of faith in his machine. The F-Zero series is no stranger to reinventing characters in different ways, usually to drastic degrees. Beastman isn't too different in that regard. However, each version has hyperspeeder and a desire to hunt down beasts in common. The personalities in between the games, on the other hand, not so much. In the races themselves, we can observe his personality through his actions. In F-Zero X, we know he means business, as he always spin attacks when attacking enemies, if not player controlled. And he always targets his own group of rivals. That's the nature of the relationship system in F-Zero X. In GX, he only races, not even bothering to defend himself. For someone who is more bashful, this can make some sense. But this comes into conflict with his main trait of being a hunter who is ensuring that no one suffers against other beasts. Then in GP Legend and Climax, he just blends in with the other racers, similar to his appearances in the anime, excluding the episode he's featured in. However, he has been seen relying on more than just superhuman athletic ability. He's armed with a gun and whip. Picture a comic book anti-hero who uses a whip like Indiana Jones or Catwoman. Definitely different from Beastman in GX, who certainly seems like he'd have a career in kickboxing, and truly not the same as he was in F-Zero X. It goes without saying that his biggest rivals and relationships have also changed from game to game, with the exception of his rivalry with Biorex. Which is your favorite version of Beastman in the F-Zero series?